everybody, and welcome back to Tier 2 here in Amethyst Racing. We are back at the Circuit of the Americas, just getting ready for qualifying. Of course, it is a sprint weekend here once again. All the drivers just getting prepared, sticking on their setups, and getting ready for what I assume is going to be a fun... a very fun and entertaining race, unlike Tier 1. That was not too great, and we are... You have food. Ah. Stay focused and I might share. I may have to just take you up on that offer. Here we go then. Only for the start of qualifying. Kota is a 5.5 kilometre track consisting of 20 turns, the final corner being a very tricky and intricate 90 left. Got a very complicated S section at the start of the lap in sector 1. That leads into sector 2, which has a long back straight. Sector 3 also being very intricate, and we have our first car out on track. Is that... If I can get it right. That is Kiziel. He is out on track, and we're going to get ready to put everything back on screen. So we're going to have Subvest on, telemetry enabled, lap data we do not need on, and track map we do need on. So is that the right one? Is that the right keybind? I'm not too sure, but we are going to close that down. Is that an AlphaTauri just behind? Yeah, the two AlphaTauris first out on track. Kiziel and Lemon being our last race winner out in Hungary, with Kiziel following just behind. It was an AlphaTauri. 1-2 brilliant drive from both of these two, and Kiziel letting his teammate through, I'd assume, to get his tyres nice and warmed up, ready for his first lap of the session, holding the brake and the throttle. Really does warm up your tyres most amount. That is an Aston Martin of, not Khan, but his teammate Lergestam, Axel Lergestam, coming back for Tier 2 in Amethyst. And he gets ready for his first lap. We are going to turn the detail off because that is taking up a hell of a lot of screen. Going through the long right-hander that is turn 16, 17 and 18 into the penultimate corner. Getting ready to start his lap. We're going to ride on board with him for his first lap of the session. DRS open, and it is straight up to the top of turn 1, braking as late as possible. Gravity helping you, helping to slow you down, getting the car hooked up and clipping that inside curve. They are not on this time, Talbot, no. But through turn 3 and into the intricate S section we go. He's seemed to get that pretty nicely through there. I'm losing my words, and I don't know why. Missing that inside curve is obviously a purple sector 1 for him, down towards the long back straight, and into turn 11 we go. Once again, braking as late as possible, clipping that inside curve, and not ideally accelerating on that outside curve, because that can lose you a bit of traction. Down towards turn 12 we go, the end of sector 2. Hard braking and clipping that inside, cutting it as much as possible. He has also gone purple in sector 2. Not too bad from the Aston Martin driver. That hasn't seemed to have been taken away just yet. So his purple sector 2 stands into turn 16, 17 and now 18 into the penultimate corner we go with Axel Lergestam. He flicks it in left, making sure not to invalidate on track limits into the final corner, I should say, on that exit curb to the line, and that is a 33 3. Not the quickest of times from him. Mika Lemon just behind in that AlphaTauri. I'm trying to... Alright, and Kiziel goes even quicker with a 33 2. And Puthran, we know he's quick with his banker laps with a 32 for Jehovah's slotting in behind Lemon in 5th with a 33.6. Nandor going up to P2 with a 32.7. We're going to switch back to Rolf van Loon as he crosses the line. He has invalidated. Back to Talbom, who goes P2. He's P2 in the drivers' standings, as well as his teammate Evan Potts comes across the line. It is P6 for him, Henningsen. P7 in that Alpine. We're going to switch back to Hugendorn in P15. He crosses the line. He goes P4, managing to improve his position. Vandenberg to the line. P9 for him, a 33 for not too bad, not too great either. Mika Lemon, our last race winner, only down in P10 for him, so not the best of times for him. I'm sure he's going to be able to improve his lap time significantly, because that is not exactly his pace. So, as it stands, Puthran is currently P1 of all the drivers. Sat Vlad Rosu coming towards the line to finish his lap. DRS open towards the line, and he goes P3 for Red Bull. Puthran still not knocked off the top step. We know his bank laps are very quick. They have been very quick previously, so I expect nothing less from him. We've got a few drivers. Oh, and that is Kevin Byland being blocked by, I believe that is Moen Talbom in the Mercedes. So we're going to switch back to Rolf van Loon, who's invalidated his lap once again. I don't know if he's just going around in circles at this point, or whether he's starting another lap. I believe he's starting another lap, so we're going to ride on board with him. Into turn 1 we go, getting the car hooked up nicely, clipping that inside curb and down the hill, making sure not to minimise wheel spin. I thought I had. I apparently have not. So just give me 1 second. I'll be with you in a moment. Right. Does that work? Has that worked? No. Not now. That was working yesterday. Give me 1 moment. Do apologise for this. Yeah, I'm not sure why that is not working, if I'm honest. I'll have to use the in-game one as Rolf van Loon goes. P14 with a 34.1. It's a 3 driver. Not doing too greatly in this session. And Khan, meanwhile, I was a bit distracted. I do apologise for that. He's gone P3, just behind his championship rival, Moen Talbom. Turn on the in-game ones because I can't seem to get that one working for some reason. Not that one. Lap data enabled. Go with that one. Let me try and get the normal one working. Just give me 1 second. So that one. That one. we're going to have to go without, I'm afraid. We are going to have to go without. I can't seem to get that working, and I'm sorry for that. We're going to have a look at a few on their outlap. We're going to have a look at Melwin Talbot in that Mercedes running that awful green helmet. That is honestly shocking to look at. That is not very nice in any way, shape or form. Yeah. Oof. There's a Red Bull just behind him. A bit quicker than everybody else. I believe that was Fantenberg. No, Fantenberg is on his lap. He's the first of the next runners to go on his lap. Down towards turn 3 we go, flicking it right. And following it through into the S section. Very stunning to look at on a good day. Especially with this sunlight. It is absolutely amazing to watch. And Fantenberg got oversteer at the end of Sector 1. He's into the wall. He is out of this session. That was a big crash. Ripped his rear right wheel off. I wasn't exactly paying attention properly there. But Mickey Lemon starting his lap. And we are going to switch to Melwin Talbot in that black Mercedes car at the end of Sector 1. Not sure if he was up. I could not see that. Yes, I did laugh at him DNFing because that was quite amusing. Onto the long back straight through turn 11 for Melwin Talbot. He's got a few cars just ahead of him, maybe picking up a bit of a slipstream. He does not pull out to get that slipstream from the Alpine car. Down into turn 12, the end of Sector 2 for the Mercedes driver, P2 in the standings, as I've mentioned before. He's 2.5 tenths up on his time, and he's purple in Sector 2. This will put him P1 as of now. Into the left-hander and into turn 16, into 17, and now turn 18. Driving through for the penultimate corner for the Mercedes driver of Melwin Talbot, the Swede, as some might say. Number 3 on his car through the final corner. DRS open to the line. He goes P1. He's improved by about 4 tenths there. And he's gone ahead of Puthran by some margin. 3 and a bit tenths separate the top 2. What can Puthran and indeed his championship rival Khan do about that? As of now, your current order: Melwin Talbot in P1, Puthran in P2 on his outlap, P3 for Khan on his outlap, also P4 for Rosu in the Red Bull. He managed to improve his time a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. Nandor in P5 for the Alfa Romeo, not quite as good as Kevin Balaj in Tier 1, but definitely better than Molo in Tier 1. So he's the sole Alfa Romeo car, and he doesn't seem to be doing too bad as of now. Evan Potts with a white and red, or orange helmet, I should say. Not looking too bad, if I do say so myself. Axel Lergestam in P7. His teammate is in P3. Only 3 tenths off of B. Khan, his current teammate for this race. Mikel Lemon in P8. Not as well as last week out in Hungary. But his teammate follows suit once again in P9. Only 100th exactly separate them, with Hugendorn rounding out the top 10. Both Williams cars in the bottom 7, with Filip Pavic just joining the session a bit later. It's obviously P17 as of now, but Khan into Sector 3 he goes. He's he's 1.5 tenths up on his time. He lost a bit of time in the second sector. He was almost 3 tenths up on his time in Sector 1. So what can he do? Can he jump Puthran? Turn 17 and 18 for the Saudi driver now into the penultimate corner, flicking it left, high downforce, especially in these 2023 cars, through the final corner, cutting that inside curb as much as possible. Gets a bit of a wiggle on exit, but he cannot Cannot best Malin Talbom or Puthran for that matter. Speaking of, Puthran's going fairly slowly down that back straight. Does he have a bit of a problem, or is he trying to save some fuel for another lap in short qualifying? Of course, it is short qualifying due to it being a sprint weekend. He's not going to be able to do much more other than one more lap, because if he does come into the pits, he's not going to get another chance to go round again. So I think he's saving up a bit of ERS, starting his final run in Q3 is Puthran. No, he comes into the pits. Interesting choice for him. As we see, Malin Talbom, the first out on track. God, that helmet is awful. In this short qualifying session, he is the first one out on track to complete his final run in short qualifying here. Just bear with me one moment. I do apologise for that. I have returned. Right. So it looks like Malin Talbom's teammate Evan Potts has gone a bit quicker on his outlap, and is that Ryan Much? No, it is not. It is Filip Pavic starting his first and only run in this qualifying session. But we're going to switch back to Malin Talbom. There we go. Not Malin Talbom, Evan Potts sporting that white and orange helmet. It reminds me of Verstappen, so that is not a good thing. Starting his lap then up towards turn 1 we go with Evan Potts, the Geordie driver, braking as late as possible into turn 1, getting that car. He misses the apex slightly, actually, so he doesn't get the car hooked up. And Van Zoom and Hugen Goat have returned to McLaren. Through Sector 1 we go with Evan Potts. He's got that car down to a T. He's controlling it very nicely, but he is only a 10th down on his time. He's not really improving too much, but we're going to switch back to his teammate Malin Talbom, who's gone purple in Sector 1. He seems to be the quickest out on track as of now into turn 11 for the Swede. As late as possible, braking and early on throttle as possible, as not to get wheel spin going down towards turn 12 on this long back straight. We expect to see many overtakes in the race. Evan Cox, yes indeed. Malin Talbom then, what can he do in Sector 2? Into Sector 3 we go. He's only 100th up on his time, but as of now, that is still quick enough for P1. Talbot on the most pointless lap right now. He is, but it's still the final lap. Back to his teammate, Evan Potts, as he rounds the final corner to finish his final lap in qualifying. This is the benchmark for the rest of the drivers. P4 for Malin Talbom. B-Khan can only manage P3, and Talbom crosses the line now. He does improve, not by much, 13 hundredths, as Filip Pavic only manages P14 in the Williams. We're going to switch back to Drahovizol, who's into the pits. Nandor, is it Nandor? No, Nandor has improved to P4 in the Alfa Romeo, as Axel Lurgistam crosses the line. He can only manage P7. Is that Hugendorn? It is. He invalidates on the final turn. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. He was down on his time. Kevin Byland, 2/10 down in Sector 2, only managing P12, as Vlad Rosu beats Nandor, beats Potts, and he goes from P6 to P4. Kiziel in that AlphaTauri. P5 for him. And Mika Lemon across the line, he's invalidated. Not too good for him. And Van Loon across the line, it's P17 for him. Dead last out of everybody. So not too great for him. But Melvin Talbot is your pole sitter here in Kota Tier 2 with Puthran lining up on the front row. Just behind him with Khan and Rosu for the second row. So Khan P3 while his championship rival is P1. Just get these race results down. There we go. We're gonna go down here. There we go then. Kizio P5, Nandor P6 for Alfa Romeo, Potts, Talbot's teammate P7 lines up alongside Lurgistam in P8. I'm not sure. He was P9 and P10 then readied up before I could read anything more. So we get ready for the sprint. Hopefully we have Van Flop. Yes, he has gone from Van Zoom to Van Flop. He is a tier 3 driver though, so cut him a bit of slack. Waiting for drivers, or waiting for players, I should say. Hugen Bottle. That's more understandable. Hugen the one is he a tier 2 driver? I think he is. I think he's a tier 2 driver. So yeah, that would be suitable name for him. Hugen Bottle. Ugh. The sprint race is starting, I believe. Here we go then, is Malwin Talbom lined up in P1 with Puthran by the side of him. It's 5 red lights. It's 5 red lights out. And away we go. We're racing in Kota. Talbom gets a pretty decent start. Puthran covers off Rosu into turn 1. It's 3 wide for Khan, Puthran and Rosu. Khan round the outside. He's shown the runoff by Puthran in P2. Khan in P3. And that is an incident involving Filip Pavic and one of the Red Bulls, I believe. As is absolute chaos just behind Puthran and Khan. All of these drivers looking to make positions off the start. Kizil up P1, much with a drive-through penalty for corner cutting and gaining 3 places. That is not ideal for him whatsoever. And Nandor and Potts going side by side into turn 11. Lurgistam looking to get a piece of that action. Rosu pulling out to try and get a move done on Kizil in the sister team of AlphaTauri. And that is Khan trying to break the toe of all of these drivers, and Kizil's up into P2 after making a move on both Khan and Puthran. It's 3 wide, there's major contact between those 3. Khan up into P2, Puthran still fighting it out, and there is contact with Kizil and Puthran. Kizil is sent spinning, Rosu dropping down the order, and I've no audio for some reason. Kizil rejoining the track, almost killing his teammate of Mika Lemon. We're going to go back to the front. Talbom with a 1.6 second lead with Khan in P2 and Puthran in P3, making contact with Kizio and spinning him round all the way down to the bottom in P17. Potts up to P4, trying to help his teammate out as much as possible. Kevin Byland, fantastic start from him. P5 for the Haas driver, the Dane in P5. Fantenberg, P6 for the Red Bull driver. Van Flop up 8 places, yet he's done very well. P6 for Fantenberg. P7 for Drohozol in the Alpine. Up from, I'm not sure what position he was in. Lurgistam sticking put in P8, running out all the points playing positions. A bit further back, Van Zoom in the McLaren. Trying to fend off Nandor a little bit there. I'm not sure if Nandor got involved in one of those incidents. But he's certainly not giving up on points in this sprint race. So Malwin Talbom leads with a 1.3 second gap to his championship rival, B. Khan in the Aston Martin. Beautiful looking car, and Khan has got Fernando Alonso themed helmet running for this race, and Byland 6/10 behind Evan Potts, and he's battling Vandenberg currently. He's trying to hold on to that P5 position. How many points would that give him? 1, 2, 3, 4 points. And that will give Byland 4 points for the Haas team, because they've struggled a bit this season in Tier 1, as I did drive for them. So that was a massive struggle. B. Khan, though, with a faster lap time than anybody else on the grid. He's trying to close that gap to Talbot just ahead, and we're going to switch back to Hugendorn, who tries to make a move on Nandor into turn 1. He gets through pretty nicely. It's 9 and 10 for the McLaren drivers. Ratcliffe will be very, very happy with that. Well, not as happy as if Van Loon was able to get up into P8 and have 1 point for McLaren. Pink helmet, very vibrant, and I'm not sure how well it goes with that McLaren car, but it is noticeable nonetheless. Sun glaring on these drivers here in Austin, Texas, as Mountain Talbot leads us down the back straight, with Khan gaining roughly 2/10 in Sector 1 and the middle part of Sector 2. It looks like Talbot's running slightly better wings than Khan. Puthran getting into DRS of the Aston Martin Saudi driver. 7/10 separate those two. A little bit of a lock-up from one of the drivers behind us. Henningsen is trying to put pressure on Nandor as well. He's dropping down the grid well, I don't know what but he is dropping down the grid, which is not ideal for him. Axel Lurgistan 3/10 behind Drahovzel in that final points playing position, looking to gain a bit more, a few more positions, and a few more points. A few of the drivers running very wide on the exit of turn 18 there into the final corner. Puthran, so that's the fastest lap of the race. He's only 5/10 behind Khan now. Into turn 1 we go, and Puthran does close that gap slightly. The Indian driver driving his heart out. He's going to want to get P2 in this race, and Hugendorn and Van Loon do switch positions. It doesn't look like Van Loon is Van Groom is about to groom the entire grid. I think the only thing he's going to be grooming is the barriers, as Nandor tries to make a move on Van Loon there, as Vlad Rosu, who got caught up in one of the earlier incidents, does get fastest lap of the race, with Filip Pavic making up a few positions, or one position, is it, to P13. We're going to stick on Puthran as he gains on Khan towards turn 12. He pulls to the inside. It is Puthran trying to make a move on Khan. He's not trying to make a move anymore. He's made the move at the end of, just before the end of Sector 2, at the end of that long straight. Byland up into P4, past Potts. A few moves being made with DRS now available to the drivers. Nandor past Van Groom in going up into P10. Only 2 positions off points, as Evan Cox through turn 18. He goes all over the back of Byland, maybe looking to get a move back, as he gets a 3-second time penalty for running wide too many times, but he is virtually pushing Kevin Byland through the final turn, and he pulls to the inside. He makes that move on Byland into turn 1, or actually before turn 1. Khan sticking with Puthran quite well. 4/10 separate these two, both controller or pad drivers, I should say. Beautiful view. We've got a helicopter cam now. The Aston Martin driver chasing down the Haas driver, with the Haas driver in turn chasing down the Mercedes driver of Melwin Talbot. Puthran, get a fucking move on. Well, you could. Why wouldn't you just tell Khan to get a move on and be quicker? As Drahovzel and Vandenberg side by side into turn 11, there you go. It is Drahovzel on the inside on those medium yellow wool tyres. Down the straight we go, and that is a spinning car of Nandor in the Alfa Romeo. We're going to stick on board with these, as Lurgistan is also looking to make a move on Vandenberg. He's side by side into turn 12. It is Vandenberg getting run out of road by Lurgistan as he slips through into P7. It's Vandenberg in the final points playing position, and Hugendorn and him make a bit of contact. Hugendorn round the outside of Vandenberg. Vandenberg pushing Hugendorn as wide as is legally possible. Hugendorn through into turn 18, through to the penultimate corner. He's through it into the points playing positions. Ratcliffe is going to be happy with that one. Evan Cox all over the back of Byland as well. This is a much more entertaining race than Tier 1. Evan Cox towards turn 1 he goes. He's passed Kevin Byland once again. Will he be able to stick to P4 on track for the remainder of this race? Look at the gap between him and Khan in P3. 5 seconds. That just shows the pace of the top 3 drivers in Tier 2. A few stragglers at the back is Pavic. Talking of stragglers at the back of the grid. Getting a 3-second penalty down in P12 for Williams. Not ideal for him as he battles with Nandor through Sector 1. We are going to stick on board with these as Drahovazol is quite close to Kevin Byland. We're on lap 6 of 10 of this sprint race as Evan Potts seems to be getting overtaken by Kevin Byland. Kevin Byland slots in just in front of him, parking it on the apex right there. ERS check, please. Is this so you can engineer him as Pavic and Nandor going side by side, if I can get the right position, and Pavic stays P12 ahead of the Alfa Romeo driver and Kisiel in P14. We're going to go back to the front of the grid, and yes, we are going to check ERS for you. That is Melwin Talbom on 47%, followed by Puthran in P2. He is on... Hello. I don't want that. I want telemetry. Thank you. Puthran on 43%, and Khan on 32%. We missed that. Evan Potts and Byland going side by side into the S section for these two. Kevin Byland known for getting into incidents, and he hits Potts wide, and Potts is spun round. He comes back onto the track. He is out of this sprint race. That was a big crash, and that is a safety car. A full-blown safety car, unsurprisingly. Potts is out of this race. That was not smart from those drivers as we watched much slowing down. That was the Alpine of Drahovazol he made contact with. Drahovazol could do absolutely nothing about that. Potts was run wide by Kevin Byland. Potts came back onto the track in that high-speed section and hit into Drahovazol in the Alpine with that beautiful pink helmet, actually. But unfortunately for Khan, he does not have that 11-second gap to Byland anymore. That is going to close up with the safety car on lap 7. Potluck. Huh? They. So Malwin Talbon leads us on this first safety car. We did not have one in Tier 1 at all. But he chooses to stay out with Puthran in P2 also staying out. And Khan as well in turn staying out. What will Kevin Byland do? Will he come into the pits? No. He also stays out with Drahovazol P5. Legistan P6. Hugendorn P7. He's up another position. As Van Groom comes into the pit, and so does Kisiel. I believe they'll be switching onto their soft compound tyres, which I'm not sure is worth it at this point in the sprint race. But Evan Potts is going to be starting P17 for the feature race. Not ideal for Malwin Talbot whatsoever. He wants a teammate up there to help him battle Khan in the Aston Martin. I'd imagine this safety car is in this lap. I believe it has to be in this lap. So, Rosu and Lemon have got to get a move on. They've got to catch up to the back of this pack if they want any chance of getting points in this race. So your current order as of now, Melwin Talbom in the Mercedes P1, followed by Puthran in P2. Khan P3 with Byland having a collision with Evan Potts just a minute ago, causing this safety car actually in P4 with Drahovizol in P5. He gained a position from that. So did Lurgistam in P6, the Aston Martin driver, sticking with the rest of the pack pretty well, but not his teammate up in P3. Safety car is in this lap as Hugendorn and Vandenberg round out the points finishers. Melvin Talbot then will lead us on this safety car restart. He's trying to get his tyres warmed up as much as possible, holding the brake and the throttle. Through turn 15 he comes in sector 3 now. This is the question, will he go for an early safety car restart or will he go for a late safety car restart? We're going to watch his speed, make sure he does not drop below 40 mile an hour, because that will be breaking the ARL regulations. As we watch the Mercedes driver, the Swedish driver, and the current runner-up in the Tier 2 standings come through the final corner. Has he gone yet? And he legs it. He's gone, he's legged it, and Puthran sticks with him. He does not get the jump on the Indian driver into turn 1 we go, and that is Drahovizol and Byland going side by side. Drahovizol up a position, Hugendorn looking to make a move on Lurgistam, showing him the runoff and getting not through, but they are currently side by side, and Hugendorn is officially through, and that is Filip Pavic going wide, and he's through to P10 with Nandor and Van Loon battling just behind him. We're going to switch back to the front though, because Melvin Talbot has not been able to drop off Puthran as well as he would have hoped. Van Loon and Nandor still going at it down in P11 and P12. Pavic has a 3-second penalty, Chewy. Talbot looking to get the best drive possible onto this long back straight. That's a 3-second penalty, as we see Much and Rosu going side by side in the background. Khan will be looking to get past and dispatch Puthran as quickly as possible. He's got one more lap after this to do so on the Indian driver. Lurgistam through into P7, battling Hugendorn. Hugendorn holding on to that P6 position with Kizil, Nandor and Lemon battling at the very back of the grid. A start difference from Hungary last time out. Pavic up into P9. He's on the verge of points. He's battling with Vandenberg around the outside. Turn 16, 17 and 18. But Lurgistam's gone very wide. Puthran has... not Puthran. Pavic has to take avoiding action. It's 4 wide. And that is Vandenberg. He's round. He's into the wall. His teammate Rosu spins round Pavic on the final corner. Lurgistam up into P9. Much and Pavic. P10 and 11. Nandor looking to get a piece of this. He's up into P11. Into turn 1 we go. There's a yellow flag for Kizil in the AlphaTauri. There's still more contact between Rosu and Pavic. We're going to switch back to the front though, because Melvin Talbot is still leading this race, although not by much. Only 3/10 separate him and Puthran. Down towards turn 11 we go with the Mercedes driver. We're going to ride on board with Khan. Let's ride on board with Khan onto the long back straight. Talbot looking to hold up Puthran, but he's not successfully doing so. Puthran is not using ERS. He wants to stick behind Melvin Talbot, but now he's using it to fend off Khan, who's also not using ERS for some strange reason. Looking a bit further back down the straight, that's Henningsen and Hugendorn going side by side. Khan having to stick to P3 as of now. He's not going to get any higher in the leaderboard as of now, and that is Pavic down a few positions. At the end of sector 2, we're going to stick on board with these though, as Melvin Talbot rounds turn 18 into the penultimate corner. He goes. Melvin Talbot, he came into this race pole position. In the final corner we come. Melvin Talbot crosses the line. He's going to win the sprint race in Kota, followed by Puthran P2. Khan rounding out the podium. Drahovizol gets past Byland at the start of the sprint race, and he... sorry, at the start of the safety car restart. He's P4, followed by Byland in P5. Hugendorn and Van Groom both in the points positions. P6 and P7 for them. That is... how many points for them? 4 points for the McLaren boys, or 5 points I should say, for the McLaren boys. Not too bad for them whatsoever. Don't like Kota. Understandable. Understandable. As Jehovah's gets driver of the day, unsurprisingly he had a pretty good race. But very eventful and quite a few collisions between all the drivers there. I'm going to get these results down. So it's Melwin Talbom, your sprint race winner, followed by Puthran and Khan, P2 and 3. Jehovah's P4, Bylan P5, Hugendorn and Van Groom P6 and P7 for McLaren, and Henningsen rounding out that points position. Evan Potts DNFing and dropping down to the back of the grid for the start of the feature race, which we are going to head on to right about now. Going to be interesting. Rosu down in P10, starting P4, I believe it was. So not the best of races for him at all. Jehovah's cooking. You are correct. So it seems to be a dry race once again here in Kota. I'm going to make sure, or hopefully make sure no more incidents happen, because that would not be ideal for anybody, especially in this feature race. Nobody wants to drop down to the back when you can get the most amount of points. If my sources are correct, ice cream is correct. It is if Khan outscores both Talbom and Puthran by 27 points, which is now impossible, he wins the championship. So Khan cannot be crowned champion here in Amethyst just yet. He's going to have to wait at least another week. We get ready to start the feature race here at Kota in Tier 2. It is Melwin Talbom lining up in P1 once again with Puthran just behind in P2. It's 5 red lights. There's 5 red lights out. We are racing in Kota. Talbom gets a pretty decent start, but so does Puthran. Jehovah's up into P3. Puthran sticking in P2. Khan dropping down to P5. Bylan also jumping him. Side by side for Puthran and Jehovah's. Jehovah's getting an excellent start in this feature race. And he's shown the runoff by Puthran. It's a 2-3 for Kevin Bylan, who spun round. Oh my god! That is a massive pile-up. Jesus Christ. That is a virtual safety car. I'm surprised that is not a red flag. Bylan was running P3. Jehovah's down to P16. Unfortunately for him. P15 for Vandenberg. P14 for Pavic. That was a massive crash. It's P6 and P7 for Hugendorn. Does Hugendorn have damage? He does. He's going to have to pit with Van Loon in P6. It is an intense Tier 3 race. You are correct. So it is Melwin Talbot who stays P1 with Puthran in P2. Khan holding out in P3 with his teammate Axel Lurgestam making his way up into P4. With Vlad Rosu making up a few positions from P10 into P5 he goes. P6 for Van Groom and P7 for Hugendorn, although he's going to have to pit, and he does have a time penalty. It is a full safety car. I've only just noticed that. I've done a full loop, not Martin there. Kiziel up to P8 from all that carnage. Much in P9 and Nandor in P10 on those soft compound tyres. It is Mika Lemon still outside the points. Henningsen without a front wing. He made a lot of contact, I believe, and Evan Potts in P13, now P12. As a few people are into the pits, Hugendorn as well. Vandenberg also into the pits, Henningsen into the pits, and Pavic up into P12. He's promoted to P12. The Jehovah's surprisingly, Not getting any Harris. That's not very nice, is it? Although I do agree, Luke Martin is a better commentator than me. So yeah, safety car out on lap 1 after a massive pile-up with Kevin Byland and Drahovizor both involved, both of them dropping down to the back of the grid, with Byland getting terminal damage and being forced to retire. He was slung across the track there. That was we got a perfect view of that. We switched back to him at the very point he spun around. Tyre check. Yeah, we will have a look. Gap detail. We'll have a look at position changes. First, we got Melvin, Talbot, Puthran, and Khan all sticking P1, 2, and 3 same start positions. Axel Lurgestam up from P9 to P4. Vlad Rosu up from P10 to P5, and Van Groom up a position from P7. Is now running P6 for McLaren. Kvyat up 6 positions. He's on par with Potts, of having gained the most amount of tyres. Yeah, Byland has 3 tyres. That's actually a pretty decent joke. Well done. Much up 3 positions. Nandor up 3 and Lemon up 4. He's in the points now with Potts just behind him, looking to make up a few positions. He definitely has the pace for P4, P5 in this race. As we saw in the sprint, everybody is caught up to the safety car train, and yeah, we'll have a look at tyres. We're not going to have a look at telemetry. Tyres. Let's have a look. Moen Talbom starts this race on the medium compound tyres with Puthran. Also on the medium compound tyres, it's the 2 Aston Martins on the hards. Both of them running 3rd and 4th. They'll look to extend their first stint and go onto the softer medium tyres at the end of this race. Everybody from Rosu down to Ryan Much in P8 are all on medium compound tyres, with the outlier of Nandor in P9 on the soft compound tyres. Nicky Lemon rounding out the points on the mediums. Yeah, he had end plate damage, Chewy. Yeah, I think he drove into Byland. I think he was one of the drivers that drove into him. I'm not too sure. I'm going to get off this detail because we don't want that. No one has penalties as of now, but I can imagine there are going to be quite a few reports from this race. I'll have the full track map up. I'd imagine safety car is going to be in this lap. Everybody has caught up to the back of the back of the pack. Oh, refreshing, zesty drink. Yeah, safety car is in this lap, so it's going to be Malwin Talbom leading us for the second time on a safety car restart this race. We're going to switch to Puthran. We're right on board with him for the safety car restart, and that is Van Loon dropping very far back. I'm 99% sure that is more than 10 car lengths to the car ahead, which is not legal. Malwin Talbom. He's not dropped below 70 as of now. He has not dropped below 40 as of now. He's about 70 mile an hour as that gap between Van Loon and Rosu has closed up. Will Malwin, will the Swedish driver go early or will he go late? It is going to be Malwin Talbom leading us across the line for the safety car restart. The first one in the feature race. Puthran is all over the back of him. He's pulling out to the inside. He's going to look for a move into turn 1 on Talbom, but there's no doing for him. He's not quite close enough. Khan in P3, just behind Puthran. He's going to look for a move round the outside at turn 3, but no, he's not quite close enough. Further back is Much going side by side with Kizyul through this S section. He's closing right up to the back of the AlphaTauri driver. He goes wide through turn 6, I believe that is. Getting a bit of understeer with that Williams car. Not ideal for him, but we're going to switch back to the front. Beautiful helicopter shot. Martin Talbot leading us onto the back straight. Very long DRS zone, but no DRS enabled as of now, as Ryan Much and Kizyul are going side by side. Much is past Kizyul, but he's side by side with Nandor, which invites Mika Lemon through on Nandor, and it is Kizyul looking to make a move on Much into turn 12, I believe that is, the end of sector 2. Much and Kizyul still side by side. Lemon looking to make a move on his teammate. Round the outside he goes, but Kizyul up the inside of Ryan Much, and so does Lemon go up the inside of Ryan Much. There is no doing for him. He's going to have to stick behind for now. Through turn 18, into the penultimate corner we go for the AlphaTauri driver. Round the outside he goes. That is a spinning Alpine of Drahovizol at turn 17. Side by side for Lemon and Potts. Is there enough room left there? We didn't quite have a good shot, but Potts up into P9. Still side by side down into turn 1. He uses a bit of ERS just to blast past the AlphaTauri driver. But Lemon looking to go up the inside of Evan Potts in turn 1, but he does not make that stick. AlphaTauri do work well together, and that is the two Alpines into the pits, and Drahovizol retiring from this session. Back to the front of the grid, it is Melwin Talbot sporting that ugly and disgusting green radioactive helmet, with Puthran in P2 sporting a black and red helmet, which goes very well with that Haas car. Just behind Kizyul, looking to make a move on Van Groom, but he's holding his own. He's grooming those tyres away, but Kizyul is grooming his rear end now. He gets the better drive on Van Groom down towards turn 12 we go. Late braking for Kizyul. Very late braking. He goes past Vlad Rosu into P5, the AlphaTauri driver, but Rosu getting that switchback on him. Round the outside, looking for another switchback, but there is no doing for him. Round the outside for the Red Bull driver. That does not turn into the inside, but just behind Van Loon and Ryan Much going side by side. It's 3 wide for Lemon, Van Loon and Much through, and that is Van Loon running, who was that? Was that Potts? Very, very wide. Van Loon through, down into P8 as Mika Lemon and Potts going side by side. Once again, there's a little bit of contact as Mika Lemon goes off the track, out braking himself, not being able to get a move done as Nandor slips through on the inside of the both of them. Vandenberg into P10 as well. He's side by side with Potts into turn 1. We're going to switch to Potts is on board, so we have a better view of this. He's down to P12. Mika Lemon on his outside, on the outside of Vandenberg. Through the S's we go. Mika Lemon virtually pushing, and I believe at times pushing Vandenberg through. Mika Lemon is spun round. So is Potts. There's more contact between those two. Philip Pavic sitting behind in P13. Ryan Much in the Williams up into P6 past Vlad Rosu. Lemon's teammate Kizyul in P5. Unlike his teammate Mika Lemon down in P14. And that is Puthran making a move for the lead into turn 12. It is Talbot slotting in behind him. He's not going to have any. He's not going to have any more leading laps as of now. Pavic is through on Potts into turn 12. Does Potts have damage? It is absolutely plausible because I believe him and Lemon made contact. But Puthran pulling away from Melwin Talbot in P2 is Talbot, and Puthran in P1 in the Haas car. Khan sticking very, very well with the top two on those hard compound tyres. The top two on medium compound tyres, because you'll give him Ricardo vibes. I couldn't agree more. Very late braking from him as Rosu is into the pits. As Van Loon is promoted to P7 because of that. We're going to switch a bit further forward. As Kizyul is all over the back of Legistam now. Pavic goes past Rosu and Potts and Lemon, all three of them having damage, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, Potts changing his front wing. That is why he was overtaken by Filip Pavic. Filip Pavic is in no way, shape or form quicker than anybody on this grid. I did get the right screenshots for the sprint, Luke. I mean, they were the right screenshots in Tier 1. I believe.
They weren't. They didn't show the time.
Oh, you're here? I didn't know you were here. They didn't show the time, right. That may, yeah, they were the wrong screenshots then. Where did you come from? It is Luke. As Putran still leads us away, as Kiziel will look to make a move on Axel Lurgistam into turn 12. That seems to be a favourite overtaking opportunity for him. Late braking for the last of the late breakers, it appears. Locking his tyres up slightly, though. Best commentator has arrived. I couldn't agree more. We do need him back.
I'm off again. Bye-bye.
Oh, right. He's off. So he arrived and then he left. Puthran still chilling in P1. He's got a 7.5 gap to Melwin Talbot. Kiziel does need to gain 5 seconds, which I'm not sure how he's going to do that. But Ryan Much in the Williams has got a perfect view of Axel Lurgistam looking to make a move on Kiziel as Van Loon goes past his teammate Van Groom, goes past Hugendorn into P7. Van Groom not at all grooming the back of Ryan Much's car. I think he's grooming his tyres as of now. The only thing he's got to battle with this race. Axel Lurgistam and Kiziel, the closest battle on the grid as of now. As Khan is gaining and gaining on Melwin Talbot. Down towards turn 12. We run Melwin Talbot using a bit of ERS, I'd imagine, into turn 12. He looks for a move on Puthran, but there is no doing for him. It's Axel Lurgistam side by side with Kiziel. He opts for the outside. I think he had no other choice, but he gets the switchback. He gets the clapback on Kiziel. Round the outside he goes of the AlphaTauri driver. Kiziel getting a bit of oversteer, and there is no doing for Axel Lurgistam at this point in time. He takes a wider line to optimise his exit, and he nearly spins. He drops the position to Ryan Much, who's up into P5 after that little bit of a moment from Lurgistam. He was nearly in that wall on the left. Nearly did a Van Groom there, but he sticks it back onto the track. Yeah, that is entirely plausible. As Ryan Much also got a bit of oversteer, if I'm not wrong, there. Not too many battles going on at the moment, as Vandenberg is into the pit. May have been on the soft compound tyres, I'm not too sure. I'm going to go back to the front. I'm going to go back to Melwin Talbot in the Mercedes car. We're going to ride on board for him for a little bit as he chases down the Indian driver, who appears to be the Indian speedboat as of now. Last week he did turn into the Indian tugboat. He has not managed to save ERS. It's not looking too bad as of now. As we see the difference the DRS makes down this long back straight on the slipstream. He gains almost 4/10 on the spiky on that long straight. Once again, as Hugendorn is looking to make a move on his teammate. Two McLaren side by side, but Van Groom just backs out. He does not wish to groom the side of his teammates' side pods at the moment. But Ryan Much and Kiziel, 2/10 separate these two. The closest battle on the grid as of now. It looks like the AlphaTauris are not the only two that can work together quite well. So can the two McLaren cars of Hugendorn and Van Loo. Into the final corner then. Will Much look for a move into turn 1? Yes, Rolf Van Groom. That is his official name. As Hugendorn up into P6, past Axel Lurgistam in that Aston Martin. He seems to have better pace than a few of the cars that are ahead of him. He's Oh, he's out of ERS. That may explain it. He may have been draining his battery through the S section. He comes then. And he is safely through on Axel Legistam. Although I believe Legistam may want to make a move once again. On Hugendorn down the long back straight. We run then Mal and Talbom almost being dropped out of DRS by Puthran, the Indian speedboat, really showing his pace as of now. As Axel Legistam, well, he looked for a move, as it looks like he is going to go for a move, and he is through. But Hugendorn fighting it back into turn 12. Legistam around the outside, he just did not have the pace. Hugendorn did not, and there was a little bit of contact between him and the rear of the Aston Martin. There. No spinning just yet. Spiky to tier 1 we go. No. Don't move Spiky up to tier 1. Who needs to engineer me? If you move Spiky up to tier 1, I will organise someone to take you out as much as possible. As Nandor on those soft compound tyres is into the pits. Hugendorn all over the back of Axel Legistam though. 2 tenths separate these two drivers. They've been battling pretty hard as of late. But the top 3 pulling away from the next cars along, i.e. Kiziel, Much, Legistam and Hugendorn. Legistam with a bit of a train behind him. The 2 McLarens. That is not something you want to see in your rear view mirror. Usually when you see a McLaren in your rear view mirror, he's next in the back of your car. So, not something you have or want to see. But as of now, they seem to be doing pretty well. As Talbom and Khan, I missed that. Talbom and Khan went side by side temporarily there. And Hugendorn is past Axel Legistam, but Legistam not giving up. Through turn 12 he goes with Hugendorn into turn 13. These two still side by side in sector 3, and Legistam on the inside, Hugendorn on the outside. Hugendorn leaving way too much space, actually going off the track. And Legistam slips through into P6. There's no need for that much room to be left, as Van Groen is now all over the back of his teammate. These drivers on the hard compound tyres, so they will be looking to extend their stint, as Pavic is in the points. P9 for him, with his teammate being P5 in 2 Williams cars. No moves being made as of now. Hugendorn looking around the outside of Axel Legistam, but no doing for him. He just could not carry the speed that he would have wanted to, and Khan 4 tenths behind Talbom now. Talbom is 8 tenths behind Puthran. Looks like those hard compound tyres are working for the Aston Martin driver. They will compare a VRS. Khan on 30% and Talbom on a lot more than 30%. That's a yellow flag. That's Vandenberg out of the race. Let's see what's happened here. He's hit the wall in the same fashion he did in qualifying. So he is out of this race, and that is a safety car. That is an absolute godsend for the front 2 on those medium compound tyres. Not so much for Khan on those hard compound tyres. Britain in tears, yeah. Well, is he ever happy? That's the question. Vlad Rosu, P10, 1 point Britain will be getting from this race. So will Puthran and Talbom into the pits. There you go. Khan also into the pits. What will Kiziel do? I imagine he goes into the pits as well. And yes, he does. He pulls to the inside to go into the pits. So does Much. So does Legistam. Hugendorn into the pits. Van Loon into the pits. They're going to double stack. What will Pavic do? Will he stay out? No, he comes into the pits. Everybody so far into the pits. What about Vlad Rosu? He stays out. Vlad Rosu is staying out. He's opted not to pit, which means he'll go up to P14, quite possibly. I'm sorry, P4. No, he does not. He stays P6 in this race, much managing to get out just ahead of him with Lurgistan in P8 and Rolfando in P9. Those two double stacking with Nandor P10, Pavic P11, and Potts not having the best race as of now. Coming out of the pits comes the Mercedes driver. So it's Puthran leading from Talbot, from Khan, from Kizil in the AlphaTauri. P4 for him. Not too bad whatsoever, not a bad performance. Although not as good as last week. P5 for Ryan Much in the Williams. P6 for Rosu. He's jumped a few positions after not pitting under this latest safety car. P7 and P9 for the McLaren boys. Hoondon P7 and Van Groen P9. Axel Lurgistan separates the two in that Aston Martin. It's P8 for him, and Nandor rounds out the top 10. What happened to Byland? He died. It was a spectacular crash, I must admit. And Van Loon down to P10? What happened to him? Looks like Nandor, if he does not give that position back, he's going to be disqualified from this race. And he looks to be giving back the position. No, he doesn't. He stays ahead of Van Loon, although I don't know if he knows if he does not give the position back, he gets disqualified. No, he appears to be staying there. Doc, mate, you've had, oh dear, you've had a shocker here. One car, and he's most likely going to be disqualified for not letting Van Groen past. So we are still under safety car conditions. It will be in this lap, most likely. This is the second safety car of the feature race and the third safety car of the entire weekend, with one being in the sprint race. So the two back markers of Henningsen and Lemon catch up to the back of the field. Five safety cars. Yeah, it is. It's a stark difference from Tier 1, where we had no safety cars whatsoever, to now having two, or three I should say. So I'm dreading to think what Tier 3 is going to be like. Buthran leads us away in this race. He's going to be taking us in the start of this safety car restart. Melvin Talbot and Khan both going to be looking to make their moves pretty early. Khan on the medium compound tyres, with Talbot and Puthran on the hard compound tyres. So what will he manage to do? Total of 7 racing laps. Yeah, seems about right. Here we go then. Let's have a look at Puthran as he leads us through the penultimate corner to get ready to do a restart here in Kota, the second one this race and the third one in total. Through the final corner he comes, he's gone, he's legged it, and Talbot sticks pretty well with him, but even better does Khan. No, he doesn't. He's dropped off the back of Talbot as Ryan Much, and it looks a bit further back. Rosu coming under pressure from Hugendorn, who goes into turn 1 and makes that move on Vlad Rosu, with Potts and Henningsen going side by side as well, a bit further back. But Puthran leads Talbom, leads Khan on those medium compound tyres. We're gonna stick with him because he's going to want to make inroads on Talbom immediately. Look at the difference in grip and the difference in confidence between the Mercedes and Aston Martin driver as Khan looks for the outside. Into turn 11 we go. Round the outside and Melwin Talbom. And Talbom pushes him a little bit wider. There's a little bit of contact. But Khan is going to look to use ERS. And all over the back of Talbom now. He opts for the outside. He opts for the inside. Into turn 12 he goes. Later on the brakes is Khan, the Saudi driver. Talbom looking to get a switchback round the outside in turn 13, but Khan has made that move on Melwin Talbom. Will Melwin Talbom look for a send into turn 15? No, he does not. It is Khan P2 followed by Talbom. He's passed and he's going to extend his championship lead as of now. Puthran still leads us as Hugendon up into P5, past Ryan Much. Lurgistan down to P7. He stays there from the safety car restart. Kiziel sticking P4. Vlad Rosu P8. Van Groom P9. And Pavic in the points now. P10 for him in the Williams. Puthran leads us over the line with Khan in P2. Followed by Talmom, Kiziel, Hugendorn in the McLaren. He's running pretty high for the McLaren team right now. Ryan Much for Williams in P6. P7 for Lurgistan, P8 for Rosu, P9 for Hugendorf's teammate Van Groom. He has not groomed the barriers just yet, but we are waiting for that. And Filip Pavic in P10, following just behind Van Groom. The two Tier 3, or Pavic used to be a Tier 3 driver, now in Tier 2, all over the back of his former rival of Van Loon. Looks for a move up the inside, but there is no doing for him. I'm going to have ERS down this back straight as Potts goes side by side with Henningsen through turn 11. He's not had or not been able to make any inroads, and that looks to be Vlad Rosu going side by side into turn 12 with Rolf Van Loon. Rolf Van Loon round the outside. He's up into P8. Filip Pavic also going to be looking for a move on Rosu. Up the inside goes Filip Pavic on those medium compound tyres. Vlad Rosu down to P10, Hugendorn P5, Van Groom P8. It's a good day for McLaren, a woeful day for Red Bull. P10 and P15 as Filip Pavic looks to make a move on Van Loon. Round the outside at the penultimate corner he goes. He's forced wide. Puthran gets fastest lap of the race so far into the final corner. Pavic all over the back of Van Loon. Former rivals into turn 1 we go with Filip Pavic on those medium compound tyres. Later on the brakes is Filip Pavic, then Van Loon. He slips up the inside in turn 1. He pushes Van Loon a little bit wide, a bit further back. Henningsen and Nandor going side by side. We're going to switch back to them. Side by side into the S section for these two. Henningsen is dropping back and he's had to back out. He's been forced to. He does not want to go side by side with Nandor there. Oof, a lot of action there. But it is Puthran leading Khan, who's dropped Talbom out of DRS. But will Talbom be able to make some inroads towards the end of the race when he has the better tyres on Khan? Puthran trying to break the DRS of Khan, and Khan sends it up the inside into turn 12. Puthran looking for the switchback round the outside for the Indian driver, but Khan, the Saudi driver, manages to slip his way into P1. He extends his championship lead further as of now, but a bit further back it looked like Henningsen and a few of the drivers battling it out. He gets past Nandor, which he could not manage in Sector 1, but he manages to do it. Puthran then P2. He looks to get back past Khan on those medium compound tyres, and he goes Tokyo drifting through the final corner. That was tremendous to watch, but I can assure you Puthran is going to leave his seat with a lot of brown goop in his pants. So it is Khan leading the way then after starting P3 in this race. He's now running P1 for Aston Martin. Puthran P2, Melwin Talbom P3, And Kisiel holding his own against Hugendorn, who is looking extremely, extremely racy on Kisiel so far. It's Hugendorn P5 then, with Ryan Much 8/10 behind him in the Williams. It's Axel Lurgistan for Aston Martin. We've got one Aston Martin leading the race, one Aston Martin in a Williams sandwich, with Pavic doing very, very well in P8, with Rolf van Groom in a bit of no man's land. And Hugendorn is up into P4. Into turn 12 he goes. He's on an absolute charge on those medium compound tyres. There's nothing that Kisiel can do to defend that. It's a purple sector 2 for the McLaren driver whilst overtaking a driver. So he is absolutely rapid at the moment, possibly looking to make a move on Melvin Talbot in that Mercedes car. Puthran sticking well with Khan in P2, 5/10 just behind. Hugenporn, oh my god. Jesus Christ, Luke. Why? Either way, it is the top 6, all spread out by about 3 seconds, all about 4/10 and 5/10 apart, with Puthran gaining a bit on Khan in Sector 1 so far. Those hard compound tyres are working well for him. As long as he doesn't get a penalty, he should be alright. And it is Nandor going side by side with Rosu. He's up to P11 with Henningsen into the points positions. Potts still cannot do anything against anybody else in this race. He's right down in P13. He was running P4 in the sprint. And Mikel Lemon gets another time penalty. He won last week's race and is now running dead last with 6 seconds of penalties to his name. Here we go then. Khan leads us down the back straight with Puthran in the Haas just behind, with Melvin Talbot 5/10 behind him in turn. Hugendorn on an absolute charge up from about P7 on the grid. He's running P4 as of now. Rosu and Nandor still battling it out further back. Kisiel for AlphaTauri running pretty high as well. P5 for him, with Ryan Much in P6. And 4.5 second gap to Lurgistan. That is Van Groom. Oh no! He didn't quite groom the barriers, but it looks like he may have groomed another car and spun round for it. He is down in P13. Van Doom is out of the points. He was running pretty well as Nandor gets a 3 second time penalty, and Mikel Lemon into the pits. Puthran has gained a lot on Khan now. That's another yellow sector. That's Nandor. He's spun round. He's got a 5 second time penalty for a severe collision with Potts. What happened with him? He's got no front wing and there is a safety car. What the hell happened? Guys, come on. It's... Oh, another safety car in this race. It's the third one and the fourth one overall this weekend. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. So Khan leads us. P1 for him. Puthran P2 and Melvin Talbot P3. Khan leading his 2 championship contenders. Puthran and Talbot. Talbot being the closest in this battle for the championship. And Puthran just sitting in P3, a little bit behind him. So this is going to close up the pack, which is good for better racing. Will any cars come into the pits for the soft compound tyres? I know I certainly would. And Khan does come into the pits for those soft compound tyres. So does Talbot. So does Puthran. What about Hugin Goat? Hugin Goat is going to be leading this race. He's going to be leading us over the line on the safety car restart. He is running P1 for the first time since I don't know when. And Pavic into the pits. Axel Lergestam stays out. He's going to be P2. Henningsen into the pits. Vlad Rosu into the pits. Potts into the pits. Van Groom stays out on track. But the big news is Hugendorn P1. And it looked like Lergestam slowed right down. So he is in between Khan and Talbot. Luke, why are you so disgusting, man? Why? Why did you have to say things like that? Williams, I don't know how numbers work in Ireland, but they don't work like that anywhere else. Usually you put a comma between every three zeros. Ratcliffe, mate, I don't know what you're on about. You're the team principal of McLaren. You need to be telling them what to do. Who is Luke? Williams. His maths isn't exactly the best, is it? Was that subject by any chance maths, Williams? I imagine it was. It was German. Wow. Did you get a grade 4 in maths? He has all the... He has all the knowledge on Catholicism that he needs. You're a Protestant, aren't you, Williams? Or are we prod? Don't call me Irish. Blood's getting pressed. I mean, you're not wrong, Luke. No, Williams, did you by any chance supply Lergestam with a Molotov so he can throw it at Hugendorn and Melvin Talbot just behind him? I imagine that's what happened there. Either that or he's put a car bomb on Talbot's car, set to explode any minute. Can I say that on stream? I don't think I can, but oh well. Here's Hugendorn leading us down the back straight with Khan and Lergestam. It is an Aston Martin 2-3. Lergestam sitting in between Khan and Talbot. Puthran dropping down to P5. He was overtaken by Talbot in the pits. I would imagine safety car in this lap. We'll get the notification up on stream any minute now. And yes, safety car in this lap. You want to see tyres? Let's have a look then at tyres. Hugendorn on 9-lap old medium tyres with Lergestam also on 9-lap old medium tyres. It is Khan, Talbot, Puthran, Kiziel, Much, Pavic, Henningsen, Rosu, Lemon, Potts and Nandor, all on the soft compound tyres with Van Groom sitting in the middle of them on the 9-lap old hard compound tyres. He's going to have the worst time of all, and Much gets a 5-second penalty for a collision with Van Groom. Not sure what's happened there, but Hugendorn leading us through the penultimate corner. It's his first safety car restart this season, and he goes, and that's Lergestam into the wall in the background. He goes, he's spun right round as Hugendorn leads us over the line, and Khan already through into P1. And is that a safety car? No, it is not, but he is through already on Hugendorn, and Melwin Talbom looking to make a move in turn 1 on the McLaren driver, but he just can't get through. That is quite possibly one of the most funny ways I've ever seen anyone DNF. But Talbom virtually pushing Hugendorn through, and he goes off the track. Through goes Puthran on Melwin Talbom, and it is Kvyat all over the back of the Mercedes driver as he gets pushed off by Hugendorn as he tried to make a move around the outside. But it is Kvyat, Puthran, and Much all having a bit of a squabble down the back straight and through turn 11. It's side by side for Potts, Lemon, Van Loon, and Henningsen. Just behind these is Talbom leading us away down the straight with Puthran and Kvyat. Kvyat up the inside of Talbom. He sent it. It's 3 wide. No, it's not. It's Puthran and Kvyat side by side. Into turn 13 they go. And it is Puthran now under pressure from Much, but up the inside goes Puthran. Kvyat off the track, and he lets through Much. Pavic looking to get a piece of this. Pavic in P7, just behind Kvyat. Melwin Talbom still looking to get past Hugendorn, as Khan has pulled a 2.5 second gap to Melwin Talbom. He's going to extend his championship lead even further as of now. Khan gets the fastest lap of the race, and Melwin Talbom pulls to the inside. He is past Hugendorn. Towards turn 1 he goes. He's already passed. It is going to be Puthran looking to get past Hugendorn and Nandor into the pits. He retires. 12 drivers remaining in this race. It's Potts up into the points finally. 17 started this race. 12 are going to finish as of now. Van Groom right at the back of that grid. And it's side by side for Puthran and Much. Not a place you want to go side by side. Much looking to get the switch back on the Haas driver on the Indian speed boat as of now, but he's not doing so like he would have wanted to. Pavic looking for a move on Kvyat. Into turn 11 he goes, but he can't make that move, and Rosu's going to get the better drive on him down the back straight, down towards turn 12 as we're going to switch to Puthran, who looks to make a move on Hugendorn into turn 12. Side by side for these two. Much looking to get through as well, and he does so. Hugendorn trying to fight it back, but there is no doing for him. Kvyat trying to look around the outside on the soft compound tyres compared to Hugendorn. Around the outside he goes. He can't hold it around the outside, and there is contact between him and Pavic. Pavic is dropping down the order. He got overtaken by Rosu. He was on for a podium before the safety car, and Kvyat has been held up massively before by Hugendorn. It is DRS enabled. Henningsen gets a 3-second time penalty. He's going to drop out of the points. Pavic in P8. Potts up to P9. Lemon into the pits. He's not going to do anything more in this race. Van Groom and Lemon does DNF from this race. He presses retire in the pits, which is how it should be done. Melwin Talbom 2.7 seconds behind Khan, with Puthran in P3 in the final podium place. And it's side by side for Pavic and Potts. Pavic holding on to P7 as of now. Hugendorn holding on to P6. Van Groom getting a 3-second time penalty. Not ideal for him. Much gets a 3-second penalty as well. He's going to drop back down from P4 all the way down to P10 as it stands. So Khan still pulling away from Melwin Talbom. Melwin Talbom just does not have the pace of the Aston Martin Saudi driver. Puthran in P3 with Much just behind in P4, possibly looking to make a move. Kvyat in P5. Hugendorn holding on to his own in P6 for the McLaren driver. P7 for Pavic. After no practice, he's doing pretty well in my eyes. Evan Cox with a 6-second time penalty, I believe it is. And Pavic on the inside of Hugendorn. And there is contact. Hugendorn gets a bit of oversteer on exit. They're going to make it 3 wide through turns 16, 17 and 18. And that is Hugendorn round. There is almost contact between him, Rosu and Henningsen. But Rosu, with the reactions of a cat, it is P10 and 11 for the McLaren drivers. He's spun around by Pavic. They tried to make it 3 wide, which would never have worked. Is Evan Potts up into P6. And Philip Pavic just behind him. Vlad Rosu in P8. And Ryan Much looking to get past Puthran in the Haas. but doesn't look like he's going to be able to do so as of now. Lap 26 of 28 so far, and if the order stays the same, Khan will extend his championship lead on Talbot and Puthran, and he will have to wait another week to get that championship, which he wants oh so much. And much, speaking of much, he's going to have DRS down the back straight on Puthran in that Haas, the Indian speedboat turned Indian tugboat as of late, but much looking to the inside in turn 12 he goes. Puthran later on the brakes. Much just can't do anything. Puthran out of ERS as it stands, but Much sticking behind for now. He may want to look for it to make a move on the penultimate lap or the final lap, because that is where you want to make your moves. Less chance of them getting back past you, whoever you are overtaking. In this case, it is Much trying to get past Puthran, but either way, if Much does get past Puthran on the final lap, Puthran will still keep P3 because of that time penalty from Ryan Much, and he has got the DRS down towards turn 1. Will he opt to make a move? Puthran does not defend, and Ryan Much looking for a move up the inside. Puthran unfazed. Has a lot of experience in that. Is Kiziel getting an absolute tank slapper on the exit of turn 1, but he manages to catch the car. We're going to switch back to Puthran and Much as Puthran runs a bit wide, and Much looking to get that switchback on the Indian driver. He's got more pace as it stands. I'm not too sure, Bean. I think it was like a 32-1, maybe something like that. Yeah, it was a 32-138. As Puthran does not get the exit he would have wanted on Much, and Much pulls to the inside with DRS on lap 27 of 28. He is going to be past Puthran for the final lap of this race. Will Puthran be able to hold on and get past on the final lap? That is the question. And Potts and Kiziel side by side. In Sector 3, we go through to turn 15. Potts is clear of Kiziel in that AlphaTauri, who is going to be looking to get past Potts on the final lap as well. The only drivers within a second of each other is Potts, Kiziel, Puthran and Much, with Pavic looking to join the party of Kiziel and Potts. He's running P7 with no penalty, so as things stand, he may be able to jump up to P5 if he gets a move on with it. And Much and Puthran going at it on this final lap of the race. Into Sector 1 we go. Much is going to have to defend with all his might, but it's not going to matter anyway because he has that time penalty to his name. Puthran has just got to stick within 3 seconds. He does not need to make a move. He's not obliged to, but he may want to win on track just for safety in case Much gets that 3-second time penalty removed. Puthran dropping off 8 tenths too much in Sector 1, and Hugendorn and Van Groom swap positions. They seem to be battling down in P10 and 11. So it's Much leading us down the back straight towards turn 12 we go. Puthran is not going to be able to make a move as of now. But what about Kiziel on Evan Potts? He looks to the outside. He thought about the inside for a moment. He brakes later than Evan Potts. Round the outside he goes. There's a little bit of contact for these two. Evan Potts round the outside, more contact. Kiziel forcing him way off the track. And there is no doing for Evan Potts. He's going to look for the outside to make that move. But as I say that, B. Khan, he's driven a brilliant race. He kept his cool in times of pressure. He's going to cross the line. It's P1 for Khan in Kota, followed by Melwin Talbot in P2. Ryan Much is going to cross the line, P3 on track, but he's going to drop down behind Puthran, who takes P3 at the end of this race. Kiziel does get past Potts by the end of this race. He finishes P4. It's P5 for Pavic, P6 for Vlad Rosu, P7 demoted. Potts demoted to P7. Ryan Much down in P8. He was running P3 on track. Henningsen P9 and Van Groom go side by side with Hugendorn. They're in formation for the final corner, and it is Hugendorn that is going to cross the line just ahead of Van Loon, I believe it is. No, it is Van Loon crossing the line ahead of Hugendorn, but he drops to P11, the only one out of this, out of the points, and that is Evan Potts getting getting the driver of the day here in Kota. As we look to see our top three. Here it is. It is Khan on the top step. He extends his championship lead for the final two races, Brazil and Japan. He is looking good for this title. He has the opportunity to win it next race, and he has a pretty good opportunity. And that is Melwin Talbot, P2, and Aryan Puthran, the Indian tugboat turned Indian speedboat, P3. Hey, Ratcliffe, at least you got a point. Eh? At least you got a point. So here is your finishing order then. It is Khan P1, followed by Melwin Talbot in P2, with Puthran P3. I need to get the correct screenshots without the time penalties. There we go. Here we go. Let's get that jotted down. So there you have it. It is Khan followed by Talbot, followed by Puthran, then Kizil and Pavic in the top 5. Rosu, Potts, Much, Henningsen and Hugendorn round out the top 10, with Van Loon being the final finishing car in this race. Only 11 finished, 17 started. Not ideal at all, but we are going to be back in a minute for the driver interviews, so stay tuned. And yeah, don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back to the interviews. We are going to invite Mr. Williams up to the stage, as well as Beacon, race winner.
Pronto?
Hello. How are you feeling after that race, Khan?
Well, I mean, I feel like I didn't have the pace that race, but somehow I managed to come out with a win, which is quite amazing. But yeah, overall, I'm happy with the result.
So you've now extended your championship lead over Mr. Melwin Talbot and Aryan Puthran, for that matter. You have the opportunity to win it next race. You just need to finish in the points, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. You just need to finish in the points and you will win the championship. How are you feeling about that one?
Uh, yeah, I mean, yeah. So hopefully I do finish with the points next week and secure it before the last race because anything can happen in the last race. Japan, it's not a strong track for me, so I definitely want to get it done at Brazil. So, yeah.
That's good to hear that you have that motivation to win it a race before the finale. So, Williams, as Mr. Khan's TP, how uh, how are you feeling about him being able to win the title next race?
I'm very confident that he has the ability and just kind of the mindset to it all. He's extremely composed. He's been incredible to work with. He's been great on track. He's been doing absolutely everything you can ask from him and even more. It's just those. It's those. It was. I think that when we look back on this championship, the moments that mattered the most were probably that last stint in Hungary. It was moments like those where, your back's up against the wall and you kind of you've no choice but to properly go at it. And he demonstrated an ability that I just do not think anyone else in that grid has shown this season. With all due respect to our competitors, it's been a pretty confusing season, but overall we're very happy with how it's turning out, and if anything, the constructors is still looking very possible for ourselves. And it's just been a really, really nice season, and one that Khan has really worked for by playing Minecraft lots.
Well, that's good to hear that you're happy with how he's performed, and I assume it's the same today.
Oh, of
Let's
course.
let's just not bottle it next 2 races. Yep, that'll be great. Because if I do, I definitely won't be turning up to any other league or this league again. If I do somehow bottle the championship. But,
He won't walk the street safe.
might have to get some. Well, we'll get to that point if it doesn't come. But yeah, the season's been good. Obviously, it's not over yet, but one hand on the trophy seems like it's there. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes in Brazil.
I meant to ask you, in the sprint, you didn't seem to have the same pace you did in the feature race. Were you hanging back? Did you feel like there was no?
No, I was
to make a move, or
no, I was generally just slow. I don't know. They were better on the lower fuel, it seems. And I mean, the exit of the I forget which lane is, maybe 10, 11 onto the main straight.
Yeah.
They just kept getting the amazing these good exits that I literally could not it wasn't worth burning the ARS to make a move because they're already ahead by 5-6 tenths.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sprint race, yeah, they were just quicker, to be fair. And then the feature race, I guess I was just better on the long run. And then obviously at the end we made the call to just pit because for one, after my quali, I went out at the wrong times and I didn't get a last lap in. So I had a fresh set of softs, so I was like, let me just use these. I don't care if they stay out or what. I don't want to be. First of all, I don't want to stay out on horrendously old tires. So we made a call as a team just to pit. And yeah, and then I mean, luckily my teammate literally ended up behind me, which held up everyone. That didn't matter at the end because he ended up
for negative 1 laps.
We got the perfect view of that, and I'm sure you'll have a right laugh when you look back at it. I'm going to move this on.
On that note, I would like to just announce a done deal, and here we go for Brandon Lodeman returning for the last 2 races of the season.
Oh wow! Fair enough. Well, congratulations.
Nick Williams has been busy.
Congratulations to you and him, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you next week. And
As
hopefully
champions.
hopefully you'll be a champion by the end of that.
This guy's jinxing me so bad.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming up.
No problem.
Next up, I believe, is Mr. Melvin Talbot. Invite you up to speak.
Hello.
Hello, Melvin. P2, how are you feeling after that one?
Not good, to be honest. Yeah, not good.
I mean, you.
Feel like we're done.
you had the pace the entire race, really good pace actually, but it was being held up by Hugendorn, and having that little moment at the start of Sector 2 that dropped you a lot behind Khan.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had some dirt in his rear mirror or something because he didn't see me at all on the outside going for it. But you know, it is what it is. I feel like the kind of the better safety car were probably like the worst time for me and Poofran, who were on the mediums from the start. Did not help us at all against Khan's hard strategy. I mean, he was just. I think he maybe ran higher wing something because he was just so fast on in Sector 3, especially on the exit in Sector 3. I could just lost like 1-2 tenths every lap there, but yeah. I won the sprint. I could have done better, I feel like, but you know, you can't win every race, and
Well,
it's just
from my perspective, you did extremely well. You still technically have a chance at the championship, so I guess you just have to hope that next race he'll DNF or finish out the points, and the same for the final race.
I don't think there's a big chance. I mean, right now I think me and Potts, my teammate, are just focusing on scoring as many points as we can to be able to gain back in the constructors, because right now this last since Silverstone, and we sport rain since Silverstone, I think I had a little drop in my form and had some wheel issues, but that are fixed now, so that really like put me back a little bit on the points. Lost on some big points, and yeah, maybe we can go at it next season. Who knows?
Well, I hope to see that. Next race is Brazil. How are you feeling?
Yeah. Well, I haven't really done much practice in this game, but if I go from last game, and I was last game, I think, yeah, I think I could have a good shot at it, but you know, everything can happen. I feel like the standards in F123 has gone down, like racing in like everywhere, not only like leagues, but like you can see it everywhere. But like, we don't know. I think there's been an unusual lot of safety cars lately in the last 2 races, but hopefully it's just a killing race and we score some good points.
I see. Well, congratulations on P2, first of all. I'm going to move this down to Mr. Puthran, but thank you for coming up and doing an interview.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll catch you next week.
Yeah, see you.
Right. The poverty-stricken Punjab. Here we go. He's...
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, decent.
So, P3. How was that for you?
Yeah. I mean, I could have gotten... It could have been a more comfortable P3, but then I got wing damage under safety car, like the second safety car when we went onto softs. So that wasn't ideal. But it was a decent race considering I didn't practice whatsoever. Or the only thing I did was like a 1 race distance yesterday evening, which is quite fun. But other than that, pretty decent race. Like, I'm not in the championship anymore, so I'm just vibing right now.
Yeah.
So I try to stay out of the way of the 2 championship rivals. Yeah, pretty fun race for me. It just the wing damage was annoying, but it's fine.
Yeah.
'Cause-
And Byland,
Yes.
your incident at the start of the race, we caught perfectly. Absolutely we saw your dead car being flung across the road. What happened there?
Yeah, I just got a straight line by the Alpine coming out.
Right. And who was it that hit you? Was it Hugendorf?
Yeah, it was all. No, I think I was an Alfa Romeo,
Might have been Nandor.
maybe.
Well, you two, you had a lot of pace in the sprint, and Bylan, you had an excellent start before you didn't.
Yeah.
So, are you hoping to carry that speed through to Brazil?
Yeah,
I am known to
hopefully.
being a Brazil merchant, so I'll see if I can replicate my previous Brazil performances. But then again, there's also a certain other controller player who's about to win the championship, so he might be quicker than me. So we'll see how it goes. But if things go how they normally do for me in Brazil, I should have decent pace.
I see. And Byland?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much time I would have to practice, but we'll see how it goes.
That's good to hear. It's nice to know, Puthran, that you don't have that sort of mentality that it's like I'm going to pick sides for this. I'm at the championship battle and
Nah.
I'm bitter about it, so I'm gonna hold one of you up. But yeah,
Okay.
it is nice to see
Okay.
that.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for that.
What?
I'm kidding, joking.
Right. But
But
yeah. Well done today.
that's it from me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
well done, Puthran. I would say well done, Byland, but well, you lasted longer than you usually do, which is
Okay.
which is worth a
If
congratulations.
you didn't say anything, it would have been better, but we take it.
So yeah, thank you for coming up and doing the interview, guys.
You're
Hope to see
welcome.
you next week. And
Yep.
I just, no. I don't take that.
I don't think you've got much
In a
choice,
bit,
mate.
lad.
In a bit, guys.
See you.
I must move myself to the audience there. Now, Bavuk, please join us, as well as you, Mr. Rye Much.
Hello, obese monster.
Hello. Pavic, you got P5 there.
Yes,
Somehow.
I did.
Talk us through
I
how you
cheated.
got that.
I messaged my good friend Wesley Caspers and got his brake settings.
I don't remember getting a message.
No, but you know, for somebody who did half a race practice, 2 half a race practices, and now I first time the setup, I think P5 is very good.
It certainly is. I was absolutely shocked. I was gobsmacked to see you.
I
do
was
that.
last for a good bit.
You were. You absolutely were. Brilliant
Yes.
recovery from you. And Much is so unfortunate that you had that penalty at the end there, because you're P3 on track. You would have finished P3 ahead of Puthran. How are you feeling after that race?
Mixture, man. Obviously, it was a good back drive. I did a bad quali and I ended up getting a drive through in the sprint, so that sort of set me back. But hey ho. Yeah, no,
On a
the
new
race went
teammate.
well. Yeah, no, I basically just avoided an accident and got 3 illegal overtakes that give me a drive through, but hey ho. Yeah, no, the race went really well up until the last stint, I guess. I actually got all 3 warnings on the soft stint just because of how grippy the softs were. Like they sort of shocked me, and I ended up getting like a double, well, 2 warnings in that first XS section. I'm gonna try and challenge the 5-second penalty, because it was just one of those that you just graze the back of someone and you get a 5-second penalty on the safety car. So hopefully, if that gets removed, that'll be P4, I think, because I think I managed to gap Kizil towards the end. But yeah, overall it was a good race considering it wasn't really any practice, and it's so satisfying to drive Kota on a pad this year, especially for that first sector anyway.
That's a good thing. It's good on pad. It's poop on wheel.
Well, no, it's just a massive improvement. Like we used to turning a boat through there, so like now we actually get the chance to turn. It's not too bad, but yeah, good recovery drive from both of us and good haul of points.
I failed to mention. I think I'll get a pen, but
no.
Dear.
I did big man pots a bit dirty.
Oh,
Yeah,
good God.
We'll have to edit that one out. No, it's all right.
Yeah. Lag.
Clean move. Yeah, no, it's
It was desync.
Yes.
It was so desyncy. The files of my recording corrupted, so I can't provide you with the POV. But
I might just abuse my powers and delete all of his evidence.
delete the ticket.
I mean, well, I didn't say that.
So next week, Brazil. How are you two feeling for that one?
I am sick. I'm going to straight line someone into turn 1.
I probably wouldn't recommend saying that.
I reckon a podium's
Somebody's
on
getting
Phoenix
straight
Super.
line. You know what, wait, I'll give Potts the full treatment. He got off like this race. Are you getting straight line next race, big man?
Well,
It should be interesting. Brazil's like a DRS track in it, really, so it's just sitting in a DRS train for most of the race.
Hey, you're a controller player, you have unfair advantage. Controller grip.
Well, pay to lose and lucky.
well, I will. I'm going to end this here. You both have been nice to interview and even better to watch. So
I hope you die. Sorry.
Thank you. So
we
yeah,
get on well, I promise.
he's actually my lover. But yeah.
Yes.
No. Thank you guys for coming and doing an interview. I'll catch you two next week, and stay tuned for. Shut up. Stay tuned for Tier 3 in Kota. You will have, I believe, Mr. Connor Fatcliffe, commentating that one, which is obviously a big downgrade. So, yeah, stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.